King Productions presents the BearDown Corner with your host, Sergeant Cornholio. Hey everybody, welcome to the BearDown Corner. We're at episode 33, 2 3s, this week, and I just want to say it's been a wonderful ride up to this point, and just so much fun for me to come on every week and to chat with all you about football. Like one of my favorite things in the entire world. So I just wanted to say thank you very much to all those that tune in every week to listen to Sergeant Cornholio talk about, his football stories and different things. Just greatly appreciate you all. And shout out to my homeboy Mark on a full speedy recovery, and hope to see you at a regular pace at the dog park when we go, my friend. You are much missed, but it was great walking with you the other day. All right, let's dive into it. Packers release Javier Alexander on the fact that they wanted to negotiate his contract a little differently. So here's the deal with Alexander. When he is healthy, and I hate to say it because he's a Packer, okay? He is an elite corner in the league. He is a top 5 DB in this league when healthy. Now, when he is off being injured because just mild tweaks, snares, whatever, it's a little frustrating, right? So at 28 years old, he's coming off some injury seasons. It sounds like reports-wise he's healthy. So getting released is probably like, oh my God, everyone in a cornerback needy market, like, money checkbooks out, boys, because why would you not go take a flyer risk on this guy? He's a former 2-time Pro Bowl. He makes the defense different. When he will lock down a side of the field, it is beyond reason to try and think otherwise that you're going to probably win the game. So the fact that he had an entire section of the field locked down on most plays when he was healthy on that defense for the Packers, he makes the top 10, any defense a top 10, just because he takes down an entire side of the field, as long as he's still able to pull that caliber of level out of his ass. But anyway, enough about him, because he's a Packer. He's been released. Free agency for Javier Alexander, and also for Jermaine Pratt. Maybe not many people know that name. He is a linebacker that was drafted in the 3rd round in 2019 by the Cincinnati Bengals. This man has done nothing but just carve a niche in a defense that needed linebackers. Basically, he filled that role to a T. He is a top-tier linebacker. Listen to this. His best season yet came just last year. This man included 143 tackles with 6 defense pass swat downs, 2 interceptions, and 2 forced fumbles. For a defense that at times was like, what the hell are they doing? They're giving up points left, right, and center like it's a Madden game. But here's the deal, though. I think that in the right team, he's going to be a beast. I know that defensively, you get a lot of tackles because you're on the field a lot more. This is true. But this dude, he's one of those like top, 15 linebackers in the league. He is. When you're putting up those kinds of numbers, flying all over the field, and you go to a defense that you just have to focus on your role, I would be keeping an eye out wherever this kid goes. He's only 28, and the Bengals can't seem to get rhyme or reason done right by their defense. They signed all their offensive players, but they didn't give a shit about the defensive side of the ball this season. So they have a guy with a career year last year in this Pratt kid. Freaking Trey Hendrickson led the league in sacks. Back-to-back 17.5 sack seasons for him, and they can't even get him re-signed. Like, I think they're relying too much on, hey, we're gonna pound the ball with points. We're gonna get it down in that end zone every damn time, right? You can't win like that. So unless the rookie draft class and The free agents they brought in fit the mold to a T. This was a good defense. Not even like 3-4 years ago, they were in the Super Bowl. It pains me as a football fan to watch these teams struggle and then to start losing guys because they can't get the deals done. Like, lock down your core. The rest of them walk. But to my knowledge, I don't think there's a true signed long-term starter on the Cincinnati Bengals defense. And what I mean by that is they're signed long-term for maybe at least the next 3-4 years, right? And they're a key piece of what that defense is. This guy, Trey Hendrickson, there's multiple names. There's a few names out there at least on the front seven. I think that their back DB situation is pretty decent. Like their corners are fairly decent, but safety and some struggles on the lines. I don't know. You can only play Madden so long, and I think it's going to catch up to the Bengals. Probably this year, actually. They re-signed both their wide receivers. Like they got offensively, they're going to be a top 10 offense. Defensively, I hope whatever system they're implementing, it pays off. Charlie Irsay, daughter of late Colt owner Jim Irsay, is officially the CEO and more or less the lead of the three sisters. So ownership officially transferred over for the Indianapolis Colts to Jim Irsay's three daughters. I only brought up the one name because I think this organization is going to be just fine. It's going to be molded a little differently, maybe going further into the future, but I think right now they're on a path that was already being dealt with, not just by Jim and what he envisioned for the team, but Charlie as well, because she's been with the team literally at team meetings, like representing the Indianapolis Colts in owner meetings since 2004. So who better to take the leadership on this, because the other sister's going to be head of like the marketing and the other's the chief financial officer. Okay. But as CEO, you're going to guide this ship into the next millennia for this franchise, really, because now it's the next generation of the Irsays running the show. And I think they'll be all right. I think they'll be just fine. They got a little bit of shit to go. They're probably, I personally don't think they're going to make playoffs this year, but I do think they have the right recipe for what they want to accomplish. They've done well drafting. They've done well, bringing in certain free agents. They keep having up and down injuries at goddamn quarterback. And I hope they can figure that out. And if they can, there's no reason they can't be a contender in the AFC South. But it's that quarterback situation that everyone's trying to lock down, right? Gabe Davis, released by the Jaguars earlier this offseason, visiting the Saints this week, trying to get signed up on a team before minicamp. Now, Houston, on the other hand, is reportedly going to sign Nick Chubb, former Cleveland Brown running back, multiple 1,000-yard seasons, right? Face of the franchise, basically, at that position. He, at 29, is coming off some injury riddleness, but really, if you think of it, in most situations when you're coming off an injury, very little, unless your name is Adrian frickin' Peterson and you're coming off like a complete leg tear, and then you go rush for 2,100 yards the next year. But this isn't Adrian Peterson. This is Nick Chubb. I like Nick Chubb. He is a talent to have around, but I think he could do well in Houston. They can implement between him and Joe Mixon. A 1-2 punch with that, I think, would be dangerous as hell. I know they got Dameon Pierce there, but he never really broke the starting line. That's why they went and signed Joe Mixon last year. So to add Nick Chubb even more, they need his situational presence alone to help that whole offense take the next step. The wide receivers, they're going to run with their guys, who they've drafted, who they've signed, who they now have locked in, right? They did the Stephon Diggs experiment. Now this is third year for a lot of these guys, right? Tank Dell. You got Nico Collins coming in as one of the top receivers in the league. This team reshifted their entire offensive line pretty much because of disputes in the locker room. So I think a veteran like Nick Chubb would be really beneficial, not for what he can put on the field, but what he brings to the locker room. You know, that being able to settle guys down, be like, hey, pull your head out of your ass. This is what you need to do, and we can be successful. I like this, actually. I think Nick Chubb could have a resurrect career, not in the terms of blowing off for 2,000 yards or even 1,000 yards, but to be productive, useful in every way of the ball. I like it. Possible Nick Chubb, as long as he passes his physical, is going to be a Houston Texan. Jalen Ramsey could be on the move. So, easiest thing for him, contract situation. That's it. He's upset about it. So, he's been linked to going to the Los Angeles Rams. Sean McVay said he would be happy with the reuniting of that. He's only 30 years old. He just finished, actually, his first healthy campaign in a few years because he's had some injuries as well. And even though in all previous of his 7 healthy campaigns, which were all pro or Pro Bowl selections those years, this was the first year he didn't. No, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's because of a slack or lack off in talent. I think this could be a nice bounce back year in the way for Jalen Ramsey, that even with a fresh start, I think with a fresh start, he will be an all-pro this year, as long as he's healthy. He stays for all games, minus if a team is doing so good they take the week off or whatever the case. I feel he could go back to his all-pro level, or at least a level equivalent enough to lock down any defense he joins. And if memory serves me mistaken, which it doesn't, the Rams didn't have that bad of a defense last year. In fact, I'm pretty sure they were a top 15, if not top 10 defense. And they did that with, I'm pretty sure it was like the second youngest team, the second youngest overall age team of players on defense. So that team is only growing since Aaron Donald retired. I think the Rams could be in line for a nice run this year, but they'll have to get past a lot of other teams in that division, and it's going to be very interesting to see what comes of that, because all those teams I feel are going to be super competitive this year. The Niners are going to get back to their little formula. They're the new, Brock Purdy era. You got Sam Darnold coming into town for the Seahawks and that whole crew. You have the Rams going about and signing Devontae Adams, letting Cooper Kupp go to the Seahawks. There's been so much pass, and let's not forget the Arizona Cardinals either. But there's been so much back and forth, little banters and stuff that I come across. I think they're going to be a hot team to watch any of those division games this year. Any division game you get from the NFC West this year, I think is going to be a lockdown shit show or a possible shootout. Either one of the two, but you will see hard division play. Moving along. Here it is. Finally, we have an answer. Aaron Rodgers is going to the Pittsburgh Steelers on a 1-year deal worth $13.65 million with $5.85 million in incentives, performance-based incentives, but it could total to $19.5 million. So this is exactly what Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers were wanting all along, but he was just playing like, hey, girl, you want me? Come and get me, right? He kept dangling them on. I like the ability that Rodgers brings at a stability of the quarterback. He doesn't have to be Aaron Rodgers of old. As much as I hate Rodgers in my own ways, I do. I think for the Pittsburgh Steelers and not having to bite the bullet and make up draft capital to go get a Kirk Cousins, right? And then pay him even more. I think the Aaron Rodgers finally decided, okay, I'm done courting you. I'm going to come over for our first date. We're going to sign this contract. We're going to move into mini camp, and we're going to get this show started. Rodgers is going to bring a solid quarterback positioning as long as he stays healthy for the Steelers. They could possibly play as a dark horse if that defense plays up to their top 10 ability, even top 5. Because we're talking about TJ Watt here still in more or less the prime of his career right now. So to take away the aspect of a top 10 defense with Aaron Rodgers, who really, if Aaron needs to, Aaron will make receivers. He did it in Green Bay for years. He's not going to be launching the ball quite like he was 10 years ago, but he's still going to get the goddamn ball off. He has one of the stronger arms in the league. He has fast dudes on this team. That's how this team drafted wide receivers. They draft all these fucking small, fast little bastards. And then you got him passing it to DK Metcalf? I think I like the odds of him going to the playoffs with the Steelers a hell of a lot better than he ever did with the Jets. And any hope that there was there. So, in all, Aaron Rodgers, thumbs up play by the Steelers on finally signing him. It's nice to see the Days of Our Lives saga finally come to this point in the road. And as we get more details, of course, we'll keep all of you updated. But Aaron Rodgers, Pittsburgh Steelers, signed, sealed, delivered. It's done. Derrick Henry. This is my little, whatever, funny one for the day, I guess. Derrick Henry has been offered a movie contract role by none other than his favorite actor, Adam Sandler. In a recent podcast interview, whatever it was he was on, he was doing a football talk show, right? And they had Adam come on, and he offered him a movie role in a future movie if he could break 2,000 yards this year. You know what the stupid thing is, though? Is Derrick Henry could do it. He went off for 1,800 last year. Why couldn't he go for 2,000 again? And especially to do it like... If anyone has a shot at doing it, it's him. I honestly think by the end of we're talking about Derrick Henry's career, he very well could be the all-time leading rusher in the NFL. That will be my bold prediction for future years to come. But as of today, that is all the time we're going to do for our show. Thank you very much for joining us here at the BearDown Corner, episode 33. Appreciate all the support. Love y'all. You can catch us every Tuesday morning, 6 o'clock a.m. General Mountain Time on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Amazon, and of course, YouTube, where all videos are. So, you all take care, have a great week, and we will see you next time.